Well, hello everyone, and welcome back to another episode of The Bader Show. I am your host, Mark Bader. This is episode 453, and we got a big guest for today. Just won a freaking world title, U20 world champion of 65 kilograms. Please welcome our guest, Luke Stanich. Luke, how you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing awesome, man. Thanks for joining us. Of course, also Lehigh All-American and kind of all-around badass. But Luke, congrats on the world title. I guess just we'll get into that more. But just like, man, how you feeling today?
Thank you. Yeah, I feel good. I mean, it's been a few days removed, but definitely the best feeling in the world. And just kind of prove that I'm that guy.
Awesome. Okay, let's go back to the beginning. Like, how old were you? You're from New Jersey, right? How'd you get introduced to wrestling? How old were you? What was that experience like?
Yeah, so my brother and my cousin started wrestling, I think, when they were around like 8, maybe first or second grade. And I just kind of went to their matches and, fell in love with the atmosphere and just hanging out with my buddies. And I noticed that you just make such good relationships from wrestling and friendships. So I just naturally followed in their footsteps. And I would say when I was around middle school is when I started taking it more seriously and going to club, shout out Edge Wrestling. And then from there, I just never looked back.
Okay, sweet. So sorry when your brother and your cousin, and then I think you said junior high, middle school is when you really got into it. Like when, and maybe it's that time period, right? Like middle school or when, but when did you like just get hooked? Was there like, did you watch a match or did you go to practice? Was there a moment when you got hooked and really just went all in? Or was it just like, it was just time and you just kind of dedicated more time to it?
Yeah, I think I just matured a little bit. It was definitely hard for me to focus as a kid. You know, I would go to club practice. My mom would get me to go, and I'd go, and I'd love hanging out with my buddies there. But I would definitely struggle just staying locked in, and it was hard because I would go to these tournaments, and I would do worse than everybody. You know what I mean? I'd be the one kid on the team with a half and half record, or even worse than that. And I don't think I placed at kid states until my 8th grade year. I actually didn't qualify 2 years in a row. So all that stuff was just kind of like hurtful. And I know if that were to happen to me now, I'd use it for positive motivation. But back then, I think as like a younger kid, I just was like, screw this. I'm putting in this work and I'm not really seeing the benefit from it. But at least I got my friends. But I think once I matured a little bit, got to high school, realized how big it can all get. Being an NCAA champion looks like the coolest thing ever. To me, being a state champion was the coolest thing ever.
Yeah.
So that kind of lit a fire underneath me, and I just wanted to accomplish all those goals.
Yeah, well, that's awesome. My experience might have been a little different. Like, I got on the mats and just loved it from the beginning, and then there was kids in my club that it was cool to hang out with. But it sounds like for you, it was like maybe at least at the beginning, it was like, this is a way to hang out with my friends, and I have fun doing it, and I like the people around it. And then somewhere along the line, maybe later, you were like as much into the wrestling itself, or maybe that was high school. Is that accurate?
Yeah, no, yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, I did like wrestling, don't get me wrong. But to me, I guess I just wasn't as motivated as some younger kids. So going to club practice 3 times a week seemed like the end of the world sometimes if I had a play date lined up.
Yeah.
So it took me a little bit to get motivated in that front and want to achieve some big things.
Yeah, what was the driving force behind that motivation? Because I agree, like club practice 3 times a week. I know Jersey's like, y'all are big into clubs, and I'm sure there's a big push for it and maybe some pressure. But when did you start to love it for what it is?
So I think when my brother started to get good, just because what I watched as a young kid was him at his rec matches, smaller tournaments, traveling to Virginia Beach duels and seeing that kind of atmosphere. It's definitely different than Atlantic City Boardwalk Hall. And then my brother ended up going D3 and wrestling in the D3 Nationals, which is also pretty big. So just like seeing those atmospheres, how competitive, and especially finals matches where it's just one match going on at a time in the center of an arena. To me, that's just like some gladiator type stuff. And I like that.
Yeah. So you didn't go to state a couple years in a row and before high school, but you finally start to love it. You start to really have a deep interest in it. And then when do you start to have success? When are you the guy in the center mat? When did you first feel like you broke through?
I would say my freshman year, I was going into my freshman year, my goal was just to qualify for Atlantic City. You know what I mean, like I said, growing up seeing Atlantic City, that atmosphere was very inspiring to me. So that was my goal. And then I didn't beat a ranked kid all season until the regional tournament. I won. You know what I mean? I was kind of an underdog that beat some private school kids. I beat a senior in high school when I was a freshman. I didn't even weigh 106 pounds yet. So for me, as soon as I just got that little breakthrough, that little confirmation, like, hey, like this hard work is paying off. Um, I think it just kind of switched for me, and ever since then, like, yeah, I took 6 states that year. To me, at the time, that was awesome. But then
Yeah.
that was just a building block. Then my goal was being a state champion. I fell short of that 2 years in a row. I got introduced to Fargo. I didn't place there, and then it just like kind of all these things started building up. Um, and these were just like notches I wanted to get over. So then I made it to the Fargo finals, and I was proud of myself in that moment. Looking back, um, I'm very disappointed with that performance. You know what I mean? I think I should have won the tournament, but all those things were just kind of building blocks to get to where I am now. And then just the people I have around me as well, like Ernie Monaco in high school at Edge. He was great. I had great rock spray coaches that believed me every second. My brother, and then getting to Lehigh and then having access to, I mean, everybody in here has insane high school accolades, and then my coaches as well. Ray put a lot into me and invested a lot into me. So I think it's just I'm just upgrading.
You hear a lot of times you hear the story of this guy was a blue chip coming into high school and was just kind of at the top the whole time. It sounds like it was like these incremental steps. Like I didn't even beat a ranked kid, and then I won regionals. And then I took sixth, and then I placed, and then I went to the finals, and I went to Fargo, and I medaled. Like, did you have, let's say your freshman year, you win regionals, and you have this breakthrough. Was your goal? I'm sure you had a goal about the state. Maybe it was trying to place or whatever. But did you have bigger goals? Like I want to be a state champion in high school, or at that time, I want to go to college, or I want to be the Fargo champ, or I want to be a world champ. Like, were these big goals in your head while you're chasing the little goals, or was it as you accomplish a little goal, you set a bigger goal?
I mean, I think I always had it in the back of my head. Like, so once I got to my senior year, and I started getting recruited and kind of introduced to the whole college wrestling thing, it was definitely in the back of my head. It's like, hey, right now, my goal is to be a state champion. That's like from growing up, seeing those guys were like superheroes to me. So that's always what I wanted to be, was a New Jersey state champion. But in the back of my head, it was like, hey, once I actually do get to college, there's going to be no more state titles anymore. Like, it's something bigger than that. And I was ready for that and confident that I could be an NCAA champion eventually. But it kind of wasn't what I was geared towards at the time, if that makes sense. And then even the whole world and Olympic thing, that wasn't really on my radar until I got introduced to freestyle and just getting to college and having a good freshman season and realizing that, hey, I can take this all the way. So yeah, I would say my goals definitely developed as I went on, but that's also just like a lack of knowledge. I didn't really know the levels of wrestling yet.
Yeah, that's very fair. Um, as you're progressing through, did you follow college wrestling? Did you have favorite college wrestlers as you're coming up, grade school or high school, and or teams that you liked? And maybe it was Lehigh, but maybe it wasn't.
I definitely saw some big matches on like the Big Ten channel, and then also seeing NCAA finals matches. But I really wasn't a full student of the sport yet. You know what I mean? I think I idolized high school wrestlers when I was in high school,
Mm-hmm.
in middle school. And like when I was in middle school, I idolized New Jersey high school
Yeah.
wrestlers, which to me, like I said, they were like superheroes, but they might have not even been ranked in the country.
Right.
So I think in high school early on, I think I definitely had some guys I knew. I didn't know everybody. I knew Spencer Lee. I mean, he was my favorite just because of how dominant he was, and seeing somebody dominate on that level is unreal. So that was inspiring. And then some other big names too, like Zahid Valencia and other guys from that time period.
Right. All right. So you're introduced to these guys a little bit. You see the college, and you have it in your head like, I want to be a state champ, but eventually there's more, right? What was the recruiting process like? Did you always want to go to Lehigh? Did you take different visits and something about Lehigh stood out? How did we land in Lehigh Valley?
Yeah, so I didn't really know many colleges except for the big name ones academically and through wrestling and football and other things. So I knew of like the Penn States, the Iowas, the Michigans, and then I knew of the big Ivy Leagues like Harvard and Princeton. But I think the recruiting process really opened my eyes to all these uh, good places, but nothing stood out to me like Lehigh. You know what I mean? I talked to a lot of coaches and I was very fortunate. I actually didn't talk to that many coaches. I wasn't on a lot of coaches' radars, but out of the ones I did talk to, Lehigh definitely stood out. Um, and I think my sister was looking at Lehigh, not for sports, just academically. So my mom already was pretty biased towards it because it is a good school and it's close to home. But once I actually looked at it and came here on an official visit, I realized that this is the best place for me. It's a mix of both worlds. You got great academics, great wrestling, and we're only getting better at wrestling. Clearly, I think we're going to bring home a team trophy this year. But on top of that, the facility's great. Coaches are great. I mean, I can't thank these coaches enough. Zach Ray takes me all around the country to find whatever competition I need, whatever partners I need. We got great partners in the room as it is. So whatever anyone comes to Lehigh to set out to do, I know that the coaches are going to have their back and give them their full support. So I think there's no place like Lehigh.
Great. You're clearly a really good wrestler, clearly. But coming out of high school, you weren't like maybe a blue chip. And you said, I talked to some coaches, but not a ton, right? I wasn't getting hitting up everybody, and you've had success in college and just this summer. But as you're going into college, did you have the confidence that you could have this much success this early on? Like you be an All-American right away and to win a world title, that's a small group that actually goes on and does that. And did you have goals coming into college? And did you think, like I said, did you think you could do this right away? Or maybe you thought you could do more. I don't know.
Yeah, no, for me, I always think I can be the best. I mean, why else would I do it if I don't want to be the best?
Yeah.
And I'm sure coaches tell everybody that they can be an NC champion, but something about my coaches tell me that I have the skills to do it, and especially see me come in here and practice, even at the RTC before I was even at Lehigh as a freshman. But once I got here, it just felt like every practice I was just getting better and better, being exposed to so many great partners and just having people to bounce ideas off of. So, I mean, right away, my goal is to be an NCAA champion, and I'm not the type of guy that's just going to be content with being a state champion and then sitting on the sideline for 5 years. So for me, it was right away, I knew I was capable of being an NCAA champion, and I know that I'm going to accomplish it.
I was watching some of your matches. I've seen you wrestle before. One thing that stands out is like your position and your reattacks. And you're really good at reattacks, and it almost looks like you're like standing a little bit more straight up than like almost not quite as up as a Greco, but you're not afraid of somebody to get in your legs, and as soon as you just drop a hand and you got on their foot. I was really impressed. How did you develop reattacks? Was it a coach or a group of coaches or a drill, or like how do you I was like, this is top notch. This is world-class reattacks.
Yeah, so I would say when I wrestled at 25, like I didn't really have much offense at all. For me, it was just all toughness and grit and putting the pace on people. So offense and other things like that are definitely things I had to develop and I'm still developing. So naturally, I just got really good at reattacks. I think it was just wrestling a lot of live and doing a lot of play wrestling. And, I'm a big hand fighter. So sometimes, and this is a habit I'd like to get past, and I would love to just go out there and fire off shots every couple seconds. But I think when I'm in the hand fighting mentality and like when people fire off shots, I just see that as an opportunity to get to my own offense. So I think it just developed throughout time, partly because of my style of wrestling and hand fighting.
Yeah, it's so smooth from your hand fight. Sometimes it looks like I know on some part. It looks like he fell down and just luckily caught the foot. But I know that's not the case. But it's so smooth. I just wanted to say that. Okay. So this college, right? And you mentioned you started freestyle. Like most people, I'm assuming you wrestled folk style, and then at some point over the summer, the spring, you did a little bit of freestyle, and then it's obviously picked up. Explain to me your introduction to freestyle and evolution within that.
Yeah, so at Edge Wrestling, I think starting in maybe seventh or eighth grade, we used to go to Virginia Beach Duels, which was awesome. We'd get a house down there, we would wrestle for a few days and then chill on the beach and catch crabs. You know what I mean? That was awesome. And then Ernie Monaco put us all into freestyle, and we geared our summers towards freestyle, but I still didn't compete a lot. I think I wrestled for Team New Jersey on the schoolboy and cadet team. But even then, I didn't do too great. And then I went to Fargo twice. I didn't place once, and then I made the finals the other time. Um, but to me, summer was always just like I would put 110% effort into the season, and then I looked at the summer as just a time to develop skills, and then also go chill at the beach when I needed to, and take time off and let my body recover from whatever I was doing during the season. So I think that definitely obviously switched this year. As soon as the season ended and we determined that we were going to go to the U.S. Open, it was that I'm going to be a world champion. That was the goal. And I've worked just as hard this summer as I do during the season. So I know I jumped levels, and it's just going to carry me into winning an NCAA title this season.
Was this your first? So you've done Fargo, right? Like you said, and freestyle, but was this the first? I don't want to downplay getting ready for Fargo because I'm sure you put a lot of work into it. But is this the first time you chased making a world team? We'll put it that way.
Yes,
and getting.
I've never been to the U.S. Open. I've never been to world team trials or anything like that. So this is my first time attempting to make a team.
There's wanting to win. There's thinking you can win. There's believing you can win. There's knowing you're gonna win. Right? They're all kind of like confidence, but they're like tiny different levels of like one's kind of more than the other. Where were you, especially knowing it was your first time attempting to make a world team where you're like, yeah, I think I'm going to make this. I'm pretty sure I'm going to make this. Or like, I'm certain I'm going to make this world team.
Yeah. Me and Ray talked about it from the beginning. We were planning out the dates for Worlds and Pan Ams as if I was making the team. And obviously, I knew there's going to be some great competitors and challenges along the way. And I knew that on a bad day, or even on a good day, people like Bo Bassett could have stopped me from making the team. But I knew that if I wrestled my best, I am the best guy in the world. So for me, this is just a step in the process. You know what I mean, if I want to be the best ever, I got to win U20 Worlds to do that. So for me, it was kind of that mentality where I know I'm going to win this, but I know that if I don't give 100% effort, it very well can change. So I think just going throughout my summer training with Ray and just us talking about what I'm going to do after winning the tournament and stuff like that, just kind of helped me build my confidence a little bit.
Heck yeah. So I'm assuming this is your first time wrestling overseas. I don't even know about traveling or not, but like, what do you describe getting to Bulgaria, being in a different part of the world, just what the environment was like leading up to the tournament and getting prepared?
Yeah, so I've been to Cancun and I've been to the Dominican Republic before. Those were the only two countries I've been to out of the country.
Yeah.
And then I went to Pan Am's. That was in Peru, but still
The
nothing like
Americas.
Bulgaria. And then Bulgaria is my first time going to Europe or overseas. So that was definitely very cool to me. So either way, I was very grateful despite the outcome. I mean, it's just a great opportunity. And then getting over there and seeing like how much different it is from the US, but it's beautiful in its own ways. It was very cool. And I was fortunate enough to have my family go out there. My girlfriend was out there. Ray even brought his family out there to support me. So just a bunch of good things to be grateful for. And, those are also little boosters of my confidence. It's like, hey, I'm going to go out there and wrestle, but I know I have a family that loves me to fall back on. And that's just like such a comforting feeling, knowing that wrestling's not everything. So telling yourself before that, I tell a lot of things to myself before matches, but one of them is just to go out there and let it fly because I put in the work and I have people to fall back on. So What else can I do than give 100% effort? But then the environment itself in Bulgaria, we were on a ski resort. That's the hotel that UWW scheduled for all the teams. And it was very cool. As soon as we got there, me and Ray climbed to the top of the hill, and we barely made it down. But it was a lot of fun, and I was glad that it was in Bulgaria.
When you say you barely made it down, you and Ray barely made it down that hill. Were you on foot? And can you describe to me why you say you barely made it down?
Yeah, so it was just a giant ski slope, and obviously there's no snow right now. It's summer there in Bulgaria. Um, but we climbed up and we underestimated how steep it was. So getting up there is one thing, it's an exercise, but getting down, we were slipping down, and Ray was yelling at me because my fingers were all dirty, and I was rubbing it on the back of his shirt to stop myself. But yeah, one wrong step and we would have tumbled down that hill. So thank God that didn't happen, or else maybe I wouldn't be a world champion.
That would have been the worst. Oh, Luke broke his arm going down a. He and Zach thought it'd be smart to go up a ski hill. Okay, now let's get to the wrestling because I think, and I think it was this qualifying match. They call them the qualifying rounds. I think this was your first match. This was like your hardest, or at least if you want to look on paper, like the scariest. And we're gonna watch this. It didn't start off great, so I'm curious to hear your thoughts. You can kind of talk us through it, what you're thinking. And Nikki, whenever you're ready, we can play this because it obviously took a lot of composure to come back.
We knew this guy was good before the match.
Yeah.
But we also knew that he gasses out pretty easily and takes a bunch of fake injury time. So that was my game plan, was just go out there and break him. Obviously, we'll see what happens, but that wasn't the plan. But a lot of times things don't go to plan. So
And this is your first time. I guess you wrestled Pan Ams, but aside from Pan Ams, this is the only other time you've wrestled a foreigner.
yeah, and obviously Pan Am's was a little different.
Yeah.
I didn't get scored on at Pan Am's.
Quick single.
So first of all, beautiful shot.
Yeah.
Um, I've seen the kid's offense. He's very good. Probably, definitely, he's got better offense than I do, and probably technically better. But here we also know that he goes mostly lefty gut. He very rarely goes to the right. But he ends up switching, so he gets this second turn, and then I was thinking he's only going to go to left, and I fully committed, and then he takes me back the other side.
Is any part of you like, oh crap, I'm gonna get teched? Right off the bat.
No, here I know I'm down 8-0. It's like, okay, one turn and that's it. This whole summer of work is just gone in the blink of the eye because of a gut wrench. So I wasn't ready to let that happen. And now, obviously, I think a lot of kids would have been done here and broken. But I got up, and the first thing I thought was just like, I'm at least let me just go get one takedown, and then just another takedown after that. So here I'm obviously a little bit more cautious because it's a fine line between him getting another takedown and attacking me. So I just kind of put my hands on him like I know doing best.
Man, do you feel a little bit settled in now? We're halfway through the period, or is it still kind of on pins and needles?
No, I for me, as soon as the whistle blows, I feel kind of settled in. Sometimes I'm actually too settled in, I think, and I pressure in too hard off the rip and give up takedowns like that. But as you can see here, he's already kind of coming out of his stance, and me pulling on his head is already getting to him. And I felt that if you see Ray in the corner after I get my first takedown, he actually signifies over to me that he's broken, which I think is pretty funny because not many people would have known that but me and him. You know what I mean? Because the scoreboard still says 8-2.
Yeah. But as you're talking through it, I can kind of almost see his body language.
Yeah, look at him. Yeah, Ray does the little this over there in the corner.
Because he was up 8-0, and he's like, I'm going to ice this real quick and get rid of this guy. And then you came back and started fighting with him here.
Yeah.
And it's all of a sudden not so easy.
Yeah, so now I'm just getting him moving all over the mat. This is where I kind of felt like it was my match. I go limp leg a lot. I did that a lot at the World Team Trials. Do that a lot during the season. Um, I actually slightly tore my MCL right
Oh
there,
no.
trying to go limp leg. So I walked over the corner and told Ray, and he just was like, "Dude, don't even say that. Just go back out there and forget about it." But later on in the tournament, I had to be careful of that and not put myself try not to put myself in a limp leg again or trick knee again.
Yeah. Well, seems like it all worked out.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's still 8-2. Do you remember what Zach said?
He just said, just keep at him. I mean, just pressure into him. I mean, you push into him enough, he's going to have to fire off a shot, or else he's he's going to get pushed out of bounds or get put on the clock. So, um,
Here's what you were
that was
talking
my
about
plan.
too. This fake
Yeah.
timeouts.
Yeah, so I know a lot of people from Turkey think I was being disrespectful, but I would never do this to somebody that's actually hurt. It's just convenient or ironic that he does it every single match he wrestles. Um, and every single time he's holding something else in his body. So we know what he's doing. So for me, just that kills my momentum, and that's not what I want, obviously.
Dude, it's fun watching this now and hearing your perspective, knowing that this kid's toast. He
Yeah.
is not, you're still in a big hole,
Yeah, I
but
mean, even that takedown, I posted. He didn't even get to move his foot back. I actually stepped on his toes a little bit. It was like a radar single. And now I'm just feeling more confident than ever. Um,
snap.
yeah,
So at this point, do you think you're going to win? You just figure you got to keep beating him up?
yeah, yeah. I mean, so we actually watched one of his matches with the guy from India, and he was tired just like this. But the India guy was sloppy because he smelt the blood in the water and was firing off half-ass shots. And the turkey guy was like kind of baiting him, was like playing dead almost, and then
Yeah.
um, doing a quick maneuver and getting an easy takedown. So I knew not to, you know, over pursue too much and just keep wearing at him.
And again, killing the momentum. I see you like, come on, guy, let's go.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, for sure, it stinks. I think that they need to implement a rule change that prevents guys from doing this. I mean, obviously, if he's legitimately hurt, it's a different story. But like I said, you can't even tell what this guy's grabbing. He does it every match. Most of the matches he wrestles, he's taking injury time like that. For lucky enough that the ref did get him to the center pretty quick. Um, but in the heat of a match when you're fired up, you do funny things. So for me, I stood over him and waved him to get up. And you never know, maybe that got into his head even more and broke him. So uh, to me, it's just strategy.
Yeah, I'm sure he didn't like it. So what? It's 8-8, right? Oh, and he's hurt
Yeah,
again. Something else, I'm sure. Left lung, right lung, heart.
grabs his head. Yeah, his head's hurting. Yeah.
Yeah, it's wrestling. Something's gonna hurt. I mean, now it's like it doesn't even look. Now it looks easy. You're like stopping the shot. It looks, anyways, like you're easily countering and circling behind and whatnot.
Yeah, no. At this point, I was aiming tech. At this point, I knew I had the match won. Uh, you'll see him get back to the center too. He,
Now it's the right thigh, and
yeah.
this is. I mean,
I think normally he would try and play this out a little bit more and lay on his back, but I think he was so tired that he knew he was down 8 points and didn't feel like wrestling the last minute in the match, so wasn't even gonna um, try and milk the injury time for too long. Yeah, yeah. Probably one of the easiest takedowns I'll ever get on someone of that caliber.
what are you thinking and feeling here?
It feels great. Obviously, me and Ray talked about uh, being down 8-0 after the match, but I mean, it feels great. Um, it just feels good to not to know that I'm staying locked in, even though being down 8-0 in the first 20 seconds where most people would break, but I saw my opportunity. Um, and obviously you never want to start a match down 8-0, but to me it just got me fired up and got the momentum rolling for the tournament.
Have you ever been down 8-0 in freestyle and came back before?
No, I actually don't think I don't remember the last time I've gotten turned in freestyle. Like my junior or when I made it to the Fargo finals, I didn't get turned that tournament, and I didn't give up any turns at the U.S. Open or the trials. Um, so I don't remember the last time I got turned like that, and I don't think it's possible for somebody to get 4 takedowns in a row on me at the beginning of the match. So yeah, I don't think I've ever been down 8-0 at the beginning of a freestyle match like that and came back at least. Maybe I have been, but then just got teched.
That's fair.
But um, yeah.
How close were you or not to being turned one more time when he gets 6, 8? One more is a tech. Like I'm sure it was like, okay, I'm back. But how close was it?
Yeah, I definitely felt the pressure. You know, what I mean, I definitely felt like I could have gotten turned if I didn't stay locked in. And there was a moment where like I rolled over and like my arms weren't in position to get ready, but I think it actually took a lot of energy out of him as well. So I'd love to take credit of gassing him out, but when you take someone down and just immediately give 100% effort to try and gut wrench them for a minute, um, it probably sucks the life out of you a little bit. So I actually felt him slow down. Most people would smell the blood in the water and try and get the tech there, but it almost felt like his last attempt to roll me over was his weakest attempt.
Gassed him from bottom.
Yeah.
Well, that's great, man. So is it fair to say you felt locked in like from there on out? Just the rest of the tournament, you seem like just locked.
Yeah, no, I was locked. We had game plans for about just about everybody. I was dealing with the whole leg thing, which kind of stunk a little bit just because my pass by pivoting on my leg hurt a little bit, and then I had to change the way I was defending shots to my right leg. So that was definitely a little hiccup, but you can't really dwell on those things because I'm a firm believer that, well, I'm not a believer, this is a fact. It's just that the two things you control your attitude and effort. So um, that's an uncontrollable thing is my leg. So for me, just like if I dwell on that, then that's another thing down the drain. So um, there goes my attitude, and I already am wrestling with a slight handicap. So for me, it was just to kind of not forget about it because obviously I had to protect it and be careful, but just focusing on the goal.
Okay. And I think you said because of that injury, you had to change the way you defended your right leg or something. I think that's what you said, how you defend
Yeah.
on the right side. Can you just explain like what actually you had to do? You know, you couldn't sprawl or you couldn't explain what you mean by that.
Yeah, so this is actually something that I should be doing anyways, even if my leg isn't hurt. But a lot of times I kind of resort too early to the trick knee, to the limp leg. Um, and I think for me, just because I feel comfortable there, but I also have very good traditional defense. So I can square my hips out and traditionally sprawl and drag and go behind. But a lot of times it's just like in the heat of the moment, it's just the quickest thing for me is to just go trick knee. But after the first incident against the turkey guy, I just kind of uh, focused more in my matches to go traditional defense and squaring up with the guys instead of just uh, going to that first thing.
Sure, that makes sense. Well, it sounds like maybe that even helped you do something that you
Yeah.
need to do. Yeah, so that's great. Man, they raise your hand. You're world champ. You're standing on the stage. Like, what do you remember about that moment?
I mean, it was a great feeling. Obviously, in the heat of the moment, like as soon as the match ended, you're a little blacked out. Um, But getting on the podium and hearing the national anthem is the greatest feeling ever. You know what I mean? And I could have almost cried. You know what I mean? Just hearing the Star Spangled Banner and knowing that my family's there to watch me and Ray's there and his family. So it's just all a great feeling. It just proves to me that I'm capable of being the best in the world, and this is just a stepping stone for me.
Yeah, that's great. And correct me if I'm wrong. You got before the Worlds, you got a shoe drop.
Yeah.
Almost like usually somebody wins a world title. You did it back. You're like, I got the shoes. I guess I'll go win a world title. You don't have one sitting around that we can see, do you?
It's in the locker room right now.
Yeah.
It's not the final design yet.
Okay.
That was just a prototype, but there's still some changes. Right now it's still on pre-order. You can still pre-order them. But I think that they're gonna be delivered right before the season starts, kind of.
Okay.
The time frame. But yeah, no, it's super exciting.
Are they going to add like on there like world champ somewhere on there?
No,
Oh,
I don't think so.
that's too bad. But maybe the next version.
Yeah, maybe.
Is the plan 141?
Yeah, that's the plan.
Okay, excellent. And there's one other thing. I was just having lunch with some of the guys I work with here. I was like, oh, I got Luke Stanich come on the show. You guys know anything interesting about him besides maybe the stuff we talked about? They're like, he's got like these tattoos. McDonald's and like a couple. What are they?
Yeah, I got pants on right now. If I had shorts, I would show you.
Oh,
But
dang it!
I've got stick and pokes on my upper thigh. It's just kind of a family tradition. My brother and my cousins all have stick and poke kits, and they do it with their friends. So yeah, I got a bunch of funny things on my thigh. I haven't got one in a while. Probably won't because looking back, they're childish, but definitely all funny memories. And I do love McDonald's, and most of them do have some sort of meaning. So
Can you, without obviously you got pants on, so you can't show us, but can you kind of tell us or list like I got McDonald's, this is when I got it and why, and you said you got a few I guess funny things or a few things. Can you share
yeah,
that with
so the
us?
family tradition, everybody's first stick and poke is a smiley face. So I've got a smiley face on my leg. I got that with my best friend, Ethan Smith. He's also on my team, on the Lehigh Wrestling team. But we've been friends since freshman year of high, or way even before that. I have a smiley face. I have a McDonald's because I just love McDonald's. I have a dinosaur because dinosaurs are cool.
Yeah.
Um, I have a goldfish because I had a goldfish that lived for like 10 years, um, which to me was a marvel. Uh, I'm trying to think. I don't even remember all of them off the top of my head. I got quite a few. Oh, I got a music note because I like music. So and a cross. I have a cross on my leg. So just things that have some sort of meaning in my life. Um, Obviously a smiley face isn't a huge symbol in my life, but it's just funny.
I mean, I don't know. You seem like a happy person. Like, I think that can be really, so there's honestly, there's a lot that goes like behind somebody's attitude if they just smile more than they don't.
Yeah.
Like, I think
I could just tell people it's a self-portrait of myself.
I love it. Yeah. No, that's great. Okay, cool. Just a couple real short things then before we let you go, because I know you're going to get a class here pretty soon. But this is called Wins and Whoopins. All right, so I want you to think back from, the first match you ever wrestled in Pee Wee's till the last one you just wrestled at Worlds and anyone in between. I want you to think of one win that stands out as memorable. It can be the one we just watched. It can be the World Finals. It can be college, high school, kids club, whatever. One win that just stands out and you remember it for, it doesn't even have to be like a good win. It can be, but something that's memorable. And then just one whooping. Everybody's had their ass whooped really bad at some point in their career. Think of one really bad whooping and just one win that's memorable for any reason, and you can do either one first.
Huh. I would say for me, the most memorable win, maybe I would say my state finals that I won, just because that was my goal from a very young kid, and obviously my goal now is to be an NCAA champion. That'd be awesome. Uh, but that was a little bit more short term of a goal, whereas winning a Jersey State title was my dream since I was a very little kid. So
Yep.
that was memorable for me. Not my favorite match. I actually don't rewatch it very often because I almost choked in the last second like I do, and I kind of had a little haunting of that where I lost in the last second in the Fargo final and my state final, and then almost again in the state final. So Not my favorite match, but just the win in general felt awesome. And then a whooping. I've been whooped many times. Can it be a practice? Because the worst I've ever been whooped was in a practice, and I talk about it to this day.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, so I wrestled Mike Magaldo. He was a Jersey guy, and he was going to Edge for a little bit. And he also went to Oklahoma State.
Okay.
I think he was maybe a two-time state champ from Watching Hills. I was messing around and talking trash to him in practice one time at an Edge, and he beat me up pretty bad. Um, but it just built motivation inside of me, but definitely wasn't fun.
Yeah, I can't imagine that room at the Edge has seen a lot of talent, a lot of whoopings, a lot
Yeah,
of great people come through there. So it's a
for
rite of
sure.
passage. Last thing, easy. Well, it's simple. It might be easy, but who's your all-time favorite wrestler, Luke? All-time favorite wrestler. You get one.
Um, I would say Zach Ray,
He's gonna love that.
favorite wrestler.
Were you watching him when he was in college?
No,
That's fair.
no. But I also like JB as well. JB
Yeah.
is my favorite non-Lehigh wrestler.
All right.
He's just Jersey legend, and he's just the way he competes is awesome. He's a really tough dude.
Yes, I agree. I hope we get to see him, lace him up again.
Me too.
What I understand, he says he's not retired, so that would be great.
Yeah.
I know he's still one of the best in the world. I got last thing on that last question. Maybe just describe your relationship with Zach Ray and what you like about him.
Yeah, so he started recruiting me my junior year, and ever since I committed, he's been in my corner, and just like kind of believed in me. So having somebody that good, telling you can be an NCAA champion even when you're getting your butt kicked in your own room, is definitely a good feeling. So ever since then, we travel a lot together. He's close with everybody though. I mean, he's the coaches over here. Anybody that is willing to put the work in gets as much attention as anybody from the coaches. I mean, they're investing to everybody, and they're all just great people. But I think particularly me and Ray have gotten very close, and like I can hang out with him outside of wrestling. I mean, just a great dynamic over here at Lehigh.
That's awesome. I'm glad to hear that. I agree. I think Zach's a great guy. And, man, that's going to do it. You got 11 minutes. I know you got to get to class. So, Luke, I appreciate you coming on here and sharing kind of your wrestling journey with us. And obviously, congrats on all the success at U20 Worlds. We'll leave you with the final word to say anything about anything.
Go Lehigh.
A man, a few words. Appreciate it. Ladies and gentlemen, U20 World Champion, Luke Stanich. Luke, thanks so much, man. Have a great day.
Yeah, thank you for having me on. Have a good one.
Yeah, bye-bye.
Bye.
All right, folks, and that's going to do it. Another one in the books. We are going to get out of here, but we'll see you guys next week. Thanks so much for tuning in. Goodbye.